All right, so just want to kind of give you an update on our plans, whether we're staying in Merida or whether we're leaving Merida. Been getting a lot of emails about that, so been trying to hold off until we got some more information. So anyhow, things have drastically improved a lot with Haley. If y'all recall in the last video, I had just got my hands on some medicine, about a 60 to 90 day supply. And now that she's been on it for a while, we've gotten the dosages up to more than what it was before she got cut off, before we ran out. So she's finally making some serious improvements. She's back probably about 85%, better than she was 3 weeks ago, better than she was 2 weeks ago, better than she was a week ago. Apparently during that time when I made that video, unbeknownst to me, and I might have known, I can't remember, all these videos running hand in hand, she was dealing with something called rebound psychosis. And so typically that happens when, in her case, we had decreased the dosage in order to make the medicine stretch so she wouldn't abruptly be cut off. And then, of course, we decreased it, and then she finally ran out. And then when we resumed it, then she's, again, this thing called rebound psychosis. So the symptoms were pretty severe. I didn't know what we were going to do. In fact, the symptoms were worse than they had ever been. And what we thought we were dealing with previously, when she first got diagnosed over about a year ago, man, it was worse than that. And I didn't know what to do. So we got some more. The pharmacy, the government here has put an order for the labs to start producing the medicines again. So that's a plus. So they managed to go 5 months without producing any more of this medicine. And it was not just her medicines, but all sorts of medicines. So this lab was responsible for making anesthesia medicines, heart health medicines. So a lot of surgeries were canceled because they didn't have anesthesia. Blood pressure medicines, diabetes medications, all sorts of medications. So anyhow, the machine is back churning again. However, so at that time, I think in the last video, they didn't have a date on when they were going to resume, but since then they have resumed production. The only issue now that we're having has been that the pharmacies have been without, I'm talking nationwide, Mexico-wide, they've been without the medicines, they've been running out. So now the labs are trying to distribute the medicines to all these different pharmacies. Problem is there wasn't enough left over, so they're trying to catch up. And so what little bit that the pharmacies do receive, of course, everybody makes a run on the pharmacy. And so as soon as they get it, a couple of hours later, not even an hour later, it's gone. And so they anticipate that it's going to be a few months before supply gets back to what it was and distribution is back to normal. So until then, we still face the same problem of not having any more medicine, because the supply of medicine that I have is about to be out pretty soon, because the medicine she's on, we have to increase the dose every week. And so as we go through each week, the more we have to use, and the more we have to use, the quicker it runs out. However, I do have another supply en route. Got somebody flying in to Mexico. They're going to bring another batch of medicines for me. Hopefully we get through another 90 days, and hopefully the pharmacies here will be doing a little bit better. I don't know. I don't know. However, so that's the deal with the pharmacies. The main thing is the symptoms she's having, the rebound psychosis, seem to have gone away, and she's back on track. And as each day goes by, she tends to get better. As her dosage goes up, we'll be making another increase tomorrow. as the dosage goes up, the better she gets. So I'm grateful for that. So thank y'all for your prayers and blessings. Sincerely appreciate it. So all of the other places I looked at going, many of the other countries, most of them still have the same problem. They don't admit children under 18. So that's the other dilemma we face. So we still deal with that dilemma here. If there is another emergency, we don't have much emergency help available here. So I reached out to several psychiatrists in the United States. One of the main hospitals in Atlanta, one of the doctor that runs the psychiatric department is a big believer in the medication that Haley is taking. However, because she's under 18, she's not an adult, they typically do not prescribe this particular medication to her. So, and this is right out of his mouth, if you come back, they're going to take her off the medication. And so that is the dilemma we face. And because he is an advocate for this medication, his suggestion was, because we believe this is the best antipsychotic medication on planet Earth, if there's any way possible for you to remain where you are at, where you are receiving this medication, we believe you should, we suggest that if you can, stay. Because we believe this is the best medication that will give her the best outlook for the remainder of her life. So this particular medication, people that own it, many of them go on to resume normal lives, go back to school, go back to work, go back to college, live a normal life, have families, et cetera, et cetera. And so that is why this doctor is like, if it were me, I'd try and make it work where I'm at. If you brought it back here, they're going to take her off. We're going to try 3 or 4 different medications, each of which could take 3 to 6 months for us to determine whether or not it's effective. And while we're going through those changes, she's going to continue to have these symptoms that you're dealing with now, and it's going to be, and it could take a couple of years before we figure out if these medicines don't work, only to go back and put her on the medication that she's on now. So basically he was saying by the time we figure out whether it'll work, she'll be 18 and then we can put it back on. So it's backwards, you know what I mean? The whole thing is crazy. So I got that opinion from 3 psychiatrists in the United States. All 3 agree that, hey, if you can remain where you're at under the circumstances, try and make it work, or find another place if your goal is to try and keep her on that medication. If it were my child, I'd try to keep them on the medication that she's currently on. And they all went out of their way to say that basically being in the hospital, or if we came back to the States, her quality of life is not going to be that much drastically improved just by being in the hospital. So that's the dilemma that I'm juggling back and forth with. So at least for now, like I say, we got a supply of medicines and got some more on the way. So we're probably good for several more months while we figure things out. I'm still researching some other places just to have as a backup. Kids really love it here, don't want to go. I don't want them to leave and have to start all over again. But health and safety is priority number 1 for Haley. And so now that she's out of the woods, out of this rebound psychosis that we was dealing with at the time, that gives us a lot more time to kind of take our time and investigate some options. She's 16 and a half now. Some places will take her at 17. So that's, we essentially got 6 more months before she turns 17. So that puts us in another category. So again, just trying to weigh out all the options. Right now, I think we're just going to be in a sitting pattern, a holding pattern for a few months while we investigate and continue to figure things out. The beauty is they don't have to rush to a decision, because some of the places we're looking at, You know, I don't know. Based on my research, the hospital, I don't know. I ain't gonna get into all that. But for now, I think we're in the best place for now, provided we don't run out of any more medications. And so, as opportunity comes, I will stack up on some meds. I got a contact I'm working with. I will see tomorrow if he is a reliable source. If he is, I will have the opportunity to buy months and months of medicines, supply medicine in advance. The goal would be to try and maybe stock up on about 10 to 12 months supply of this medication, just to be on the safe side so I don't run into this problem ever again. Just stay 1 year ahead of time. So, which is good, because the medicines that they have in Mexico, it's a different manufacturer, and the medicine that she's taking now, that was flown in, it's from a different manufacturer. So I'm gonna try and keep her on this manufacturer, because if we switch back to the same medicine that's produced by a different manufacturer, you run the risk of that rebound psychosis again, and I don't want no parts of that if I can avoid it. So that's where we're at. So we're at least here for another few months, and working on trying to make it permanent if we can. But like I said, safety first. I weighed all the options and all the pros and cons between here and the U.S. and facilities abroad, and the folks in the States, the doctors in the States is saying, don't bring her back here. You know, we think the treatment that she's on is the best treatment, but if you bring her back, we're gonna take her off the medicine. Hospital policy dictates that. So that was at 3 different hospitals in the States in Georgia. So I think, so that pretty much sums that up. So here for a few more months at least, and if something else comes up better place, or if things go south again, then we'll make some changes at that point. But I'm still digging deep. I'm still in the research phase. I'm still digging through the information and trying to determine what place would be the place to go if this becomes an issue again. That way, if it does become an issue, we can just hop a plane and be on our way. So don't know where that place is at as of yet, and still digging around. So thank y'all for watching. That's just a quick update for you. Thank you for your prayers. Continue to keep us in your prayers. We appreciate you. Thank you much.